the number one frustrating thing to me is about hockey. Like, sometimes it's just you stuff a puck in, a puck takes a good bounce, and that changes the entire, you hit a post, it changes the entire feel or the result of a game. But you know what? Florida's a good team. Florida had a win. They did in overtime. They evened the series up. If you were to tell me that it would be 2-2 prior to the series going to Game 5, I would have expected that. If you were to tell me that it would be 2-2 after Game 1, I would have gladly signed for that. So I think the Rangers are still in a good spot, and you mentioned why. Shesterkin, he's the best goalie in the world right now. I've heard about all the others. I've watched all the others. Shesterkin is the best guy. He's the best goalie by far, so he's going to give them a great chance. You know what was important for me last night? Seeing the power play getting going, scoring a power play goal. They don't need their stars to do superstar things every single game. At some point they will, whether it's Kreider, Zibanejad, or Panarin, but they need their power play to get going. It did last night. I'm confident. It's a tough loss. It happens.
Yeah.
It's taken everything Florida has had to barely beat the Rangers last night, and even in the games that they did outplay the Rangers, they still lost. So I'm very confident the Rangers are still going to win this series.
It's just they don't look like a Stanley Cup champion right now. And they don't. I know that that's like a broad stroke here, but they played 4 games, and Florida, to me, looks demonstrably better. They just look better. I mean, Shesterkin's saving their ass every game.
Yeah, I mean, but
they've been getting destroyed. They could have lost last night 6-2.
Right.
7-2.
But he's part of it.
I understand
you can't
that.
remove him from the equation. If you did, then I'd be saying you're right. The Rangers would have been done weeks ago.
Yeah, but think about the one unlucky bounce that you referenced, or something wacky. Like, their margin for error with Shesterkin playing at this level is barely visible. Now, Panarin played a little bit better. He did. Kreider's got to get going. You mentioned Zibanejad has got to play better, but. Right. I mean, and please, now I'm hearing some Ranger fans, and maybe they were called. All right, maybe you could have blown the whistle. I got it. Please tell me you're not in the camp of Ranger fans crying today about Kakko getting tripped with 8 seconds to go, and Trouba taking a little shot to the throat right at the end of the third period.
No.
Okay, because I've heard that a little bit.
Although those calls, like, obviously the Panthers getting a power play changed the game. Like, they won because of it. And if the Rangers were able to get a power play there, you could win because of it, because of their power play. But no, I'm not complaining about that, because it goes both ways. Those things generally even out. I don't think the Rangers have had the benefit of the whistle in this series, but I'm happy with 2-2. Come back home tomorrow night at the Garden. Now, that's going to be a highly pressurized game, as it should be. It's the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, what do you expect? What does everybody want to sweep? Up 3-1 lead? Like, come on now. The Rangers have not had really their backs against the wall in the postseason yet. You could argue that the first time that they really did was either late in Carolina in Game 6 before they came back and won. But really, as far as the series goes, after losing Game 1 to the Panthers, was the first time like, and then they responded right away and won 2 straight games. So 2-2 now. If they lose Game 5, different story. But I'm very confident, BT, in this team because of Shesterkin, because of Drury, Laviolette, because of their power play, all of the above. I'm not like they lost a hockey game. It happens in the course of a series. I expected this to be a 7-game series, and it's on track for that.
I get that. I respect it. But, to me, when you say they lost a hockey game, sure, and it does happen, right? It was a tough loss, no doubt, overtime again. Another overtime game.
3 straight overtime. I told you, overtime in hockey, it happens all the time.
It does happen, but it's still amazing when you get it, unless you're, really hanging on every single shift like diehard Ranger fans are.
I can't take all the overtime.
It's a brutal watch for you guys.
Although you actually become numb to it at a certain point. It's like, all right, well, here we go. And it's not just the overtime period. It's basically with 10 minutes or so to go. It's like, well, next goal is probably going to win this game.
Yep.
Then it gets to 5 minutes. Now you're really playing like it's overtime, and then it actually is overtime. It's torturous on the hockey fan.
Listen, here's the thing, though. I look at this and I look at the other sports, right? Because I don't think the Rangers are playing well. I just don't. Now, I get it. All right, you're happy, you take it, you're confident, 2-2. I don't think that you should be. That doesn't mean that you should be afraid. That doesn't mean the Ranger fans should be scared or terrified. But to be confident, to me, that is an emotion that this series you have not earned given this series. Now, I don't mean the totality of their season. The Rangers have given their fans enough evidence that, they can plow through this, even if it's ugly, even if they're getting thoroughly outplayed, which I think that they are. But I It's like I'm watching these games, and you see this in the other sports. Like, say the Yanks or the Mets lose or win a 2-1 game, but the other team has 13 hits, and the Mets or the Yankees have 3. It's just all right. You won the game, but there's a big disparity and too much stuff. Or even the Knicks Pacers, Knicks Sixers. You win the game. It's a tight game, but one team has plus 15 rebounds and 7 more turnovers and 13 more free throw attempts. Like, there is a stark difference to me how these two teams look. I understand it's coming back to the Garden. I know it's tied at 2. But if the Rangers were my team, like the Knicks, I'd be terrified.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be feeling good.
I mean, I can understand that to a certain extent. I guess if you're saying that if the series keeps up going like this, are the Rangers going to be able to win 2 of the final 3 here? I would still counter with yes, I can make arguments for that. But ideally, you'd like to see the Rangers play their best game at some point here, where they got outplayed in Game 3 and were still able to win. Game 1 was a total flop and just no effort from them. Game 2, all right, fine.
Yeah.
And they won that game. And then yesterday, I thought they played well for the most part.
Well, the first period was the best period. They had maybe all playoffs.
All right, so fine. And then if
that's it.
If they don't have their best game in Game 5, then maybe there'd be concerns from me. I expect them to get outshot. That's just the way that it's going to be with these two teams. I expect Shesterkin to be the better goalie. What I've been like from Florida's perspective, if I'm them, I got to think 2 things. Number 1, what the hell do we got to do to beat this team? Because it takes everything that they've got. They outplay them, they outshoot them, all those different things, and they're barely beating them. And the second thing, at least from my perspective on the Panthers, all we heard about prior to the series, Bobrovsky, their goalie, their goalie. I'm not worried about him at all. Once the Rangers broke through after the first game, once they broke through, I'm not worried about him at all.
You got to get some shots on him.
Yeah, well,
you got to get some shots on him to show the real difference between him and Shesterkin. Shesterkin's obviously better, but if you get 21 shots in like 12 or nothing shots, no real real scare. You just I don't know. I think it's danger zone. I do.
They've had good scoring.
I think it's danger zone. I think the Rangers lose the series.
Yeah.
I said this yesterday. If they lose, if they lose tonight, they're going to lose the series. And in terms of speed, in terms of ferocity, in terms of hitting, everything but goaltending. But the Rangers aren't peppering him enough to really, to really benefit from that decisive advantage of the pipes. I think the Rangers are in trouble. I hope I'm wrong. Right now, I don't even think it's close. Florida's better. 8-7. Oh, there you go. 888-808-1019. BT and Sal here in the Fan inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guarantee lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Again, the new number, 888-808-1019. BT and Sal. We're doing Rangers all first hour throughout. Not good right now from what I'm seeing. Brody's in Waterbury, Connecticut with BT and Sal. What's going on, Brode?
Hey, guys.
Hello, buddy.
I mean, I'm watching this series, and the Rangers can't seem to hold a lead. They've blown 2 leads now going into overtime, and, yeah, they snuck one out, but that's 2 in a row now. And then as well as that, they're losing basically all the counting stats in this series. I mean, they're not getting as many shots on goal. They're not getting as many passes. They're not holding the puck as long. I mean, I'm kind of extremely concerned that they're not going to win this series because they don't look like the better team. No. And they can't hold a lead.
Well, if the Panthers look like the better team, then why are they tied 2-2, and why do they take every ounce of everything that they had to win last night? I mean, the Panthers were on the verge of going down 3-1 in this series. Listen, 2 games at home. Come on. What do you expect? I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
You could say the same thing about the Rangers being a puck away.
But you're saying the Panthers are outplaying them. So there's a big difference there. You could say the same thing that the Rangers beat him in overtime a couple times. Yeah, but the Rangers got outplayed and still won the games. The Rangers have the better goaltender. That generally wins out. The Rangers' power play got going last night. And again, I think that they've had good scoring opportunities. I don't feel like this has been shut down by the big, bad, mighty Panthers. Oh, the physical nature of the Panthers.
You don't think the Panthers are pushing them around?
I don't.
Just really?
I'm not seeing it, no.
Oh, my God. I think the Rangers in terms of physicality, I think the Rangers are a JV team.
Yeah, I don't.
This team is, I'm going to use the word, demonstrably tougher.
No, I mean, Florida's physical. They're good.
Much more physical. Yeah, not even close.
I'm just not seeing their dominant. Everybody talks about it like it's dominant and they're dominating play with their physical. I'm not seeing it. I'm sorry. I think it's been even, if anything. All right, you want to give a slight edge to Florida? I don't think the Rangers have been bullied around here at all.
Let me go to Andrews and Bay Ridge with BT and Sal. Andrew, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
So I couldn't disagree with Sal more in that, and I'm a hockey layman, right? So I watch during the playoffs. I'm into it. Okay. But if you take like the 30,000-foot view, they are living in the Rangers zone. And Florida is pushing the Rangers around they are faster to every puck. They are hitting so much harder. Like, every time I look up, Rangers getting crushed into the board.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are definitely getting bullied. Now, I understand,
no.
I feel like, all right, listen, I also feel like that it's like we'll play whatever, we'll play keep away, and then it's just like a coin flip in overtime. So it's like, yeah, maybe the Rangers are getting outplayed and they kind of benefited by winning in overtime, but that's not sustainable.
Well, Florida just won in overtime last night. I mean, there's been one lousy game played by the Rangers. That was game one. They were flat at home. So all you guys are talking about Florida like they're this great team. How come they're not up in this series? How come they lost game 3 at home?
That's the only reason.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, is he not part of the series?
He is part of the series.
Is he not? What about Big Bad Bobrovsky? Oh, Bobrovsky. Oh, he's so good.
Who talks about him like that?
Everybody's saying that.
He is good. He's not Shesterkin. He's good.
The number one thing that everybody said after the Kane series, and when I mean everybody, I'm talking about the naysayers, I guess, or even the odds makers.
Okay.
The Rangers were underdogs going into the Carolina series.
For a reason.
And then after they beat them in 6, I might add, and it should have been even shorter than that, but after they beat them in 6, then everybody said, oh, well, the goaltending wasn't good enough. And that's going to be the big difference for Florida. They have a much, much better goalie, Bobrovsky. Okay. Yeah, so what? The Rangers have Shesterkin. Where's Bobrovsky when the Rangers are lighting him up for 5 goals in Game 3? I mean, come on. I'm not worried. Is he good? Sure. Is he better than Shesterkin? Absolutely not. Unequivocally, no. He isn't. So I'm still confident here. Rangers lost a tough hockey game last night. It happens. Rangers won a couple of close hockey games, tough hockey. It happens. It's a 2-2 series. And the Rangers haven't even played their best game yet, and it's still 2-2.
What are they waiting for? It's June, basically. Come on.
Game 5, well, their best game against
They were
Florida.
out-attempted 59-14.
It doesn't matter.
After the first period. See, to me, it does matter. I'll tell you why.
Quality chances have been there, though, for the Rangers.
Maybe a little bit more than it's been presented. Maybe. But the longer this series goes, and unless this is an incredibly abrupt and, for me, unexpected reversal of play where every aspect outside of goaltending is overwhelmingly, it's not even close, in the favor of Florida, Rangers are going down. Yeah. The Rangers are not winning this series unless everything changes radically.
Yeah, I don't think that needs to be the case. They're not going to outshoot Florida. I mean, they might for a game, but that's just not the style that they play. And yes, the one thing, obviously, Florida's been dominating the offensive zone, right? And that's been a big issue.
Oh my God!
Yeah, all right, but that'll change. And
when are the Rangers' best players going to wake up and impose their will? They're getting shut down.
It'll change in certain games where it's not going to be that dominant or that overwhelming. And by the way, even with that being the case, the Rangers still won 2 games. I'm not concerned. Now, if they come out flat, and I don't think that they will, tomorrow night, if they get outplayed the way that they did in Game 1 and Game 5, maybe a different story. I'm still confident Rangers are winning the series and winning the Cup because I do think this matchup is going to be the most difficult for them.
888-808-1019. I mean, I could buy that part. Like, if they're able to get through these final couple of games and move on, you would think that they'd be so calloused and so now, prepared to deal with almost anything based on this level of physicality, but also the prior series that, even though the West is good, it could be smoother sailing, but this is the series that can end it all.
And I'm not going to pretend to know everything about the West, whether it's Edmonton or Dallas.
Not. If you're not, I'm not. I mean, you're a bigger hockey fan than me. And if I know the Rangers are getting outplayed, then you know that they're really getting outplayed.
But the style of play in whoever it would be with Edmonton or Dallas, to me, I think favors the Rangers more than a physical series with Florida. Like, you've seen Panarin basically be invisible. All right, he played a little bit better last night. Same thing.
Yeah. But Kreider's done nothing.
Those guys are going to play like stars.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and then when you have to
get there. Otherwise, we can play this on NHL 2024 and see what happens.
2 more wins.
Oh man, I hope so. But Sal, an undeterred Sal
for now,
a calm Sal, a confident Sal. Let me get Rocco and Brick, BT and Sal on the Rangers. What's going on, Rock?
Hey, what's happening, guys? Thanks for taking a call.
You got it.
Hey, Sal, man, you take the wrong side of these arguments so often. It's almost like BT set you up. to say that the Rangers aren't being outplayed physically, forget about the hockey itself, but to say they're getting outplayed physically, they're not getting outplayed. What are you watching, man? You get 100 people that same question, and you'll get 99 out of 100 will say they're getting outplayed.
Oh, it doesn't mean that they're right. I don't care what other people think. Let me ask you, who got out hit? Who had more hits last night?
Now, really, are you really going to say to the world that the Rangers aren't being out physical?
Who? I'm asking you the question. Who had more hits in the game last night?
I didn't count the hits.
Oh, well, I have it right here for you. I'll tell you. The Rangers had 50. Florida had 46.
All right, so you're still going to stick that the Rangers are out physical.
I don't think they're being. Well, I mean, you kind of now sound shut up because I just gave you some stats that debunk your theory. I don't think the Rangers are being bullied like everybody's saying. So I don't know what you're talking about. Is Florida physical? Yes. Are they fast to the puck and fast to hit? Yes, they are. I don't think the Rangers have been afraid of that or shying away from that.
I don't think they've been afraid.
Okay.
There's a big difference there, but that doesn't mean they're not getting outplayed. And like the will has been imposed by the team, not the Rangers.
See, I don't think that their will has been imposed here. I think that Florida is that's what they do. That's a strength of their team, that they're a physical team, obviously fast to the boards, going to put a check on you, sure, but I don't think the Rangers have shied away from it. Matter of fact, I see the Rangers trying it. Are they as good at it? No. Maybe that's the difference here. Are the Rangers as good at the physical game as Florida?
It's not even close.
Okay, but it's not like the Rangers are backing down and not being physical in their own way.
I'm not saying that.
Are.
I'm not. Listen,
but that's a big,
Yeah, they're up for the chat. Like, they're not, again, afraid. No one's afraid at this level, but they're not reluctant to try to push back. But their pushback doesn't have the force.
Certain teams get bullied around. That is not, to me, what's happening with this team.
888-808-1019. We're down to 2 games. Rangers fans, you got to be sweating. Sal doesn't see it. I think that they're in trouble.